Hello, welcome. We're back. We're driving a long time, so this can be a longer form video. And just because I'm gonna take this time to process a lot of things that I've been thinking about. The audio quality is gonna be different. Um, and I apologize for that. Like it might be better, it might be worse. This is also a good review on the AirPod Pro 3s and their noise cancellation. We're just recording audio. And it's at the AC stuff. So we'll see how it is. Um, I did check; it should be fine, but it might not be great. That's just how it is. Um, yeah, I was thinking a lot about the business um, and what I'm doing and the news I get. Just in general, thinking about like where the hell are we headed? Uh, where the hell am I headed? I don't know. Um, I still don't know. Okay, to be completely frank and clear, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know what I'm doing. I've helped previous businesses get from 1 to 15 million. I've helped businesses get from 500 to a million, but I've never been like just for marketing. That's all I was responsible for. I'm gonna overtake this car. That's all I was responsible for. I wasn't responsible for hiring, for fulfilling on orders, for fulfilling on things, fulfilling on services. I wasn't responsible for any of that. My job was get faces through the door, and you sell them, you do everything. I just get you the fucking people. That was my job for every CMO, fractional CMO position I had. That was my job, dude. Get eyeballs to sign up for this thing, and you sell them. They're qualified. Just do the job that you got to do. Sell them, fulfilling the service, so forth. But this is my business. I need to market. I need to then sell them, and then I need to fulfill the service. I've been trying to remove myself from fulfillment and solely focus on sales and marketing. And like high overview of like how do we cut costs? How do we ensure that we pay our people well? And how do we do all of that? That's what I've been focused on. Also, guys, I can't. Okay, well, you're stuck with this. It feels so far away because I flipped the camera. I want to see like how it would look on the other side, and I don't love it, but that's fine. That's my nose is very itchy. Um, so that is different now because I'm trying to focus on every part of the business, like trying to make sure everything's successful. To manage the team's time, I need to manage hours. I need to manage like crew hours, just like fulfillment as a whole. I need to manage it all. It's a bit overwhelming. Uh, so this past 3 to 4 days, I've been really thinking about like, okay, we are behind schedule where we should be in terms of revenue for this. Over the past 4 days, I bumped that up by quite a bit, if I do say so myself, just because I had time. I had time to call clients. I had time to reply to people instantly, follow up, so forth and so forth. That is the number one thing holding businesses back in general is follow up, consistency, and just showing up for the clients and just saying, hey, yeah, we're available. We can do this. This is how much it'll cost. This is like fulfillment, everything that. Now, uh, with that being said, I've really been thinking about like the business as a whole. On Friday, I realized like, dude, problems are occurring on orders that there shouldn't be any problems. And this weekend I had a call on Monday with an agency that assigns sales reps. Uh, they find and manage sales reps. That's like and customer service reps and stuff like that. And so I met with them. They're searching for someone for me. Now, that's a full time position. That will cost me almost full time position. That'll cost me like anywhere from 3 to 5K. That's a lot of money every month, including the months where like we don't have any work because it's a full time position. I already know what they could do for those months, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about like we need to increase cash flow in order to sustain work. In order for me to pay everyone and to make sure that like there are no layoffs and I can actually like afford to live as well. Because this year, as I mentioned, I have expenses. I've moved out. That's a massive expense. I'm already cutting costs. Like I went through all of my spending for the last 6 months to figure out, okay, where can I cut costs? Where can I not spend any money? Or where can I reduce my spending? Which is more akin to something I could actually achieve. And so went through all of that, have an idea of what I'm doing for that. Um, Now, some people might be against this, but guess what? I need to figure my shit out. And to the best way to do that is to have information and intel and knowledge, which I was sorely lacking. So I took the CSVs from all my transactions for the last 6 months since I moved out and inputted that into Claude. Made it make me a dashboard that can automatically update when I input new CSVs. So for July, it is July 8th right now as I'm recording this. And we're going to cut costs tremendously, which means eating very similar meals, living a very simple lifestyle of gym, working, gaming, because that doesn't cost me any money other than like electricity and stuff. Because electricity here is pretty cheap. Yeah, meals are going to be like simplified. I might even like, no, I probably won't. The thought I had was maybe I should cut my calories a bit, but I probably won't do that just because I want to stay at maintenance for the summer. Um, but I want to very much cut my costs in general. So we'll be eating out a lot less. We'll be not buying energy drinks at convenience stores anymore. Notice I didn't say we're not. We're stopping energy drinks. We aren't. Right. I think so. I think I was supposed to. It would be really bad if I wasn't, because I used to drive like 200 or 300 kilometers, which is like 150, 200 miles. I hope that was the right turn. It was. And I can't check my GPS right now because they will cut the recording, which is what happened last time. I still had a lot more to say. Because I have like I have almost 4 hours of driving to do. I'm reading what it says. It says turn right. 700 meters. Okay, so I was like, what was I talking about? Fuck. Trying to figure out something. Revenue? No. I just did a lot of thinking. Oh, cutting spending. Yes. So I'm cutting my personal spending by a tremendous amount. And then mainly because I want to have like an emergency fund. Right now, I've been running everything into the fucking not ground. I'm feast or famine. When I play any video game, my friends would attest for this. I play feast or fucking famine characters. I play very aggressive, aggro. Hey, we will dominate or we will cry. So that's how I've been doing my life too. Like with the business, with everything, I've reinvested, I've doubled down. I've doubled down on money we don't have to try to scale the business as quickly as possible and to just grow. But we need to just save and conserve money. We have employees, we have staff to pay, we have need to pay, we have expenses. And so, in order for me to keep doubling down on my business, I need to not spend my personal money on anything. That means I'll have an emergency fund where of I can feel comfortable if anything goes wrong, I will be okay, like for at least 3 to 6 months. Because within 3 to 6 months, I can spin off something else new and just fucking print. Like I can do that. I know me, Devin. I have the capabilities of doing that. I'm very blessed and grateful that I have the ability and the mindset to do that in anything. If if worst comes to worst, I just go back into being a fractional CMO and just scale businesses from a marketing perspective. I'm not the best marketer, but I can get a business to grow. It's not hard. It's actually really easy. Um, it's the other start of the business that can be a bit trickier, which I'm learning now. Um, yeah, so cutting personal spending is a big one. That was real. I looked through that with Claude, got a dashboard going on like where I could cut, and I made a research through Google of hey, what verify every transaction so we know what category it actually sits in, so I could discern what is actually important and what isn't. Because I could have used like a spreadsheet to do this, but guess what? I won't. I won't do it. I know myself. I won't do it. I haven't done it before. I won't do it now. So I need to make a tool or in a way for me to flip through that without having to worry about shit, did I do this right? Or shit, is this accurate? No, we know it's accurate. It's really good with this shit. And okay, let's say it's wrong, right? Because you've heard people say this all the time. AI hallucinates, AI does this, AI sucks, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't care. I do not care if it's 15% wrong. Notice I thought about it. At 30% wrong, I do care. But at 15, I don't care. Like, if it gets me to reduce my spending significantly, and we start building up an emergency fund where I can be like, okay, cool. We will not die if everything goes to shit. And I'm very fortunate because, like, as much as my parents and I fight a lot, I know they have my back 100% financially and like emotionally. They're still working on. They're working on that shit, but they have my back, and so that's been a large safety net that I'm very thankful for and lucky to have. But and I think it's important that I have my own emergency fund for if anything goes wrong, I have money laying aside just to use to save myself. So that will allow me to double down on the business even harder without having to worry about like that aspect. Another thing that I was thinking about is like, okay, if we can get the business to grow and we can sustain 2 full-time employees, the sales rep needs to close a lot of deals. but this will allow me to be able to micromanage job sites if need be. Or if something fucks up, I can drive out there. It shouldn't be a problem. It also means that I am not like constantly freaking out, constantly freaking out about every little thing of like, oh fuck, okay, gotta do this stuff, right? So that's something that will be really nice. Is I won't need to worry about every little like follow up. There'll be someone else worrying about that and securing deals on the company's behalf. That's actually really nice. It reduces my stress and anxiety on that because uh, end of June, I was on every job site because it just was required. We did not produce a single dollar during that week of new revenue. Meaning July got way worse. We had way less money like booked up in the first week of like by the first week of July, which means I need to fire people or lay them off or just say, hey, sorry, there's no work. Like there's no work. Um, I desperately don't want to do. So, uh, sorry, I was just thinking. Uh, So this past 3-4 days, I've shored up a ton of money, like for this month, and then I've shored up a few orders for the future months as well to supply consistent work to the team. It's very important uh, because if they don't have work, like there's no money in the business. I okay. To be honest, I can always pay myself. I know how to make money. I know how to produce income. For I know if I was to cut the entire team and just run me and one other guy as a contractor, I would have enough money to survive and live comfortably, like decently comfortable. But it's cool to watch other people thrive and to like give them bonuses and give them extra pay and just a rising tide rises all boats, that type of mentality. And so that's why I'm focused on a little bit more on like trying to make this business sustainable and not just solely reliant on me. A sales rep will take about a month to train. Now, slight issue with that. Our busy. I should have done this in like April or May because our busy season is June, July, August, September. So we'll see how that goes. I have no idea. It might be the greatest mistake I made thus far in the business, or it might work out fine, or it might just be okay. I am okay if it's just they make more than enough money to pay for themselves. I'm okay with that. Like, we'll take that, you know? Because it's cool to provide. It's cool. I just like it. I just like it. Um, like, I went up to Penticton to spend some time with my girlfriend and just think about business. I took quite a few meetings up here as well with other people I trust and things, mentors and stuff like that, and getting their thoughts and feedback and opinions and all that jazz. And that was very nice. It was very nice to have their thoughts and thinking. So it was nice also to leave the business and know it's not falling apart and that it's okay that the business is just doing its thing, the employees are working, and it's not crumbling beneath itself. Now, is it thriving? Technically, yes, because I could do sales. But these are like limiting things and factors I've been really thinking about. is how can we make the business self-sustainable? I still need to film an ad for Christmas lights. So I want to launch that as a Christmas in July thing, and then try to drum up some money for the fall. So that way, if we have a full-time employee, which hopefully we will, we'll have two sales, and then we'll have the uh, actual crew member. We can give them a nice Christmas bonus. That would be sick, right? That'd be actually awesome. And so that'd be sick as fuck. We can grow the business and really like start scaling up in general. Because right now we are growing, but we're not growing by a lot. Uh, Now here you're gonna hear some unrealistic numbers. I want to grow by 80 to 100% this year. Pretty please. We're at about 28% growth. But if we do what I believe we can for July, August, and September, we will be close to about 80%. June was almost 100% growth. So I think July, August, and September being above 80 is possible. And these are big months. This year, we also rejected a big order in March, April, because we just didn't want to work with this client last year. They caused us nothing but headaches. And this year, I decided that it wasn't worth the money. The amount of headaches they caused was not worth it. So I said no. So that led to no growth over those 2 months because we just rejected jobs that causes too much headache. But last year we needed the money. This year we need the money too, but I realized it wasn't worth the extreme hassle and them losing our stuff. So we ended up not working with them. Now, we had that meeting with the sales agency, the assigned sales reps and current sales reps. That was good. And during that day, I also ended up figuring out like a lot of website stuff. I figured out where we were ranking organically to solve that problem. See, like, okay, are we good? We are good. Backpack, we're not good. How do I fix that? I'm not 100% sure yet. Because it's proximity based. And so the actual fix is having remote offices all over the lower mainland. Can't really afford that. So I'm going to need to figure something out. We have a tremendous amount of reviews, which is pretty sick. I'm really happy with that. Also, I'm done chewing this piece of gum. Where am I going to put it? Currently, I don't really have a solution to that, but I do have a napkin here, so we'll just put it there for now. And then I will. So we are ranking pretty well. I did an analysis on where can we get more backlinks. What are backlinks? Backlinks are when other websites on the internet point to your website and say this is a real website. It's pretty much a link back to your website from a different website. That pretty much tells Google and other search engines that, hey, this is a real website and they do cool stuff. So that is something that we are actively like. I figured out like, okay, my competitors are on these websites. Why aren't we on there? Why aren't we a preferred vendor for these websites? Try to figure that out. Reach out to a couple of them. We'll reach out to a couple more today. and just try to like get on those lists with my competitors. So that way we aren't losing out to them on that. And then we have like other strategies that are working right now, which are doing like pretty good. Outrank, we've been using outrank.io or SO or something like that. Which is like, I don't know if it's working yet. We'll see in a couple of months. But I've been really focused on like how can I leverage my skills and my abilities to maximize the number of dollars coming into the business. And at some point, I do need to maximize the dollars inside the business too, because there's a lot of waste dollars. And it's just because I lack the knowledge and the foresight of someone who's achieved this. Someone who's already achieved, like, say, $1 million a year in revenue if, with a service-based business will already know how to solve all my problems and a few ones I don't even know exist yet. But we're not even close to that. We're not even close. So, like, the problems that exist and the problems that occur, I've never experienced before as a person that's in charge of everything. I've experienced them as a marketer, not fully, but like casually. And so this is just something different. This is just something that I need to like learn and experience and grow and like jump through the hoops of figuring it all out because I just don't know it, right? I haven't experienced it before. I may have read about it. I may have people who are wiser than me advising me on what I should do. But guess what? I don't always listen. I can be pretty defensive, but I am lucky enough to be self aware enough to realize I am being defensive. Maybe not in the moment, but later on. Sometimes we hope it's within the day, but sometimes it's a week. And that's just how it is. And so when I realize that, we can correct and move in that direction and start taking that advice and start seeing how we can implement that advice and improve the business as a whole and personally improve. So I'm very lucky that I end up learning that and figuring that out, even though it takes me a little bit of time. Sometimes longer than I'd like, but we do end up figuring it out, which I am very thankful for. So I gave a lot of thought to business. I also give a lot of thought to me personally. I want to be the guy, and I talked about this before, that puts in the effort, that tries his best, that tries to try. Because I'm so inadequate in so many ways. I'm a failure in a lot of ways. And so I got a lot of things to learn. I got a lot of things to figure out. And I'm slowly getting there. I'm slowly figuring it out. And like, as long as I continue to apply myself and continue to try my hardest, I think I can get there. I think I can achieve it. Um, and so I'm just gonna keep trying. You know, I'm gonna keep figuring it out and trying my best. That's all I can do. Nothing else matters in that sense. Um, I've missed movement and stretch, like a yoga class, for like 2 weeks now, and I don't love that because I can feel the difference it is making in my life over the last like month and a half. Like I know I am getting better at it, and that's pretty sick. Because flexibility and just the ability to move has been pretty bad for me in general. I also haven't been going to the gym this past week because I've just been up here busy with work, so I missed that. Um, the other thing that I've been dealing with is like this has been a problem for a hot minute now. It's like my forearms feel very sore like, down here and stuff. Um, this bottom part feels very sore. Um, it aches. It's been annoying for like And so I bought a bucket and I bought 40 pounds of rice to put in that bucket. And I'm gonna start training. It's called rice training or something like that. I'm gonna start doing that every day to just strengthen my wrists, my tendons, my forearms, my hands, my fingies, my elbows, maybe a little bit. I don't know. And just start like really getting strong slowly over time. That might take like 6 months, whatever. Time will pass regardless of if I do something or not. Um, and then I'm thinking I return back to lifting hard for 3 days a week, which I was already doing beforehand. And I think continue with maintenance calories over the summer, and then we'll do a minor cut in the winter of like 100, 200 calories. Keep it very minimal uh, from October, all of October, maybe. Actually, no, probably September, October. Good for 2 months. Lose like a pound or two of fat, and then go back to maintenance for November, December, and then either start eating above maintenance or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That we'll see where we're at. Uh, I did I think a shitty DEXA scan from this company uh, in June, beginning of June, maybe end of May, and I'm at 23% body fat roughly, uh, 23, 24. So I dropped 3% in about 2 months, maybe no 3 months, in nearly 3 months, with varying degrees of consistency on that, um, which is pretty good. Over the summer, I'm hoping I can recomp 1 or 2% of that to muscle. I've been trying to go pretty hard in the gym. I've been trying to keep my calories maintained at maintenance. And how do I know what maintenance is? So I use this app called Macro Factor. I love Macro Factor. It's really good. I like it a lot. It's Jeff Nippers. You can Google who that is. It's from Kelowna, Canada, I think. It'd be real awkward if I'm wrong. But uh, it takes, you track your macros, you like weigh everything, you put it in, all that jazz, calories, blah, blah, blah. And then you weigh yourself as many times as you can in a week, like once a day, same time, same rough conditions, to see, is my weight going up? Is it staying the same? Is it changing? And depending on that, you know if you're at maintenance or not. And it will advise you pretty well on that. And I think I've been eating at maintenance this past 4 days. It's been a little tricky because I didn't have a food scale here up in Penticton, nor did I have a human scale. So I don't know what the hell has been going on. Um, I've been trying to be pretty good about it, but we'll see. Um, and so I'm hoping I can recomposition, transforming fat, like burning fat and turning it and building a little bit of muscle. What I'm hoping will happen over the next 2 months, like July, August. Because if I can move it by 1 or 2 percentage points, turn 24 into 22, that would be pretty sick. That would be huge. I have my doubts on being able to do that, just because there's a lot of mental blocks in my head when it comes to working out, just applying a ton of effort in my life. I'm really bad at it. It's something I'm actively working on improving. And so I think that's what's actually going to hold me back over anything else. And then in the winter, I would have dropped to 20% body fat. That means I dropped about 7% over the year. And I think that's pretty good. Not crash dieting, nothing like that. Being very consistent, very stable in my abilities and how I'm like taking care of myself. And then at 20%, I will just stay at maintenance and just work out alone. Um, and then ideally, I want to drop it to like 17 to 18%. But we'll see where my body feels comfortable because that's where we will settle. And yeah, I love food. I love food a lot. I can taste the food. Right now, I feel a bit of sick of food because I've just been eating like weird over the past 4 days or so. And I don't love it. So, um, also eating out really throws like macros and shit, out the window a bit. So I'll fix that over the next couple months. And so, yeah, that's where that is at. Uh, I think that's it for what I wanted to chat about and things that have been on my mind. I've been, I was working on solving all these like little issues that have been arising in the business. And personally, I think I did a decently good job at solving a lot of these. I just realized like problems will always occur, whatever. It's not that big a deal, but fucking get over it. There were some things that were very stressful this past uh, week. Just text messages from employees about certain issues where I was like, oh fuck, that's really bad. Hopefully everything's like everything I think is okay. Uh, but like that has me a little worried. Uh, and that stressed me out for an entire day, like a lot. Because I didn't have a ton of information on everything. So that sucked because it killed like half a day of like productivity just because I let it get into my head and I worried too much. You know, what the hell can I do? Right? Can't fix it there. Um, yeah, that's the video. I don't think I have anything else to really talk about. Uh, I really want to build up an emergency fund for the business. The business needs about $30,000 to $40,000 in like stored up cash to pay employees when months are just bad, to pay for staffing, to pay for all of that. Because guess what? When someone works for me, I am responsible for their well being and their uh, wealth. They're trusting me to provide them with work, to provide them with money in exchange for that work, like that they're doing or not doing. But they are trusting me. And so it's my duty to do my best to serve them because they're helping me build something cool. They are also helping put food on my table. To be fair, I'm like 95% sure one or two of my employees make more than me, but like $500-$600. Uh, it's because like my biggest priority is paying employees first, and I will fucking figure it out. Um, and so, and that's okay. Like, I don't actually have a problem with that. It's more so like I need to improve up what I'm doing so that way I can pay myself too. Uh, and then personally, I want to have an emergency fund by the end of the year of like 15,000 because that will allow me to coast if need be for like 4 or 5 months. Ideally, we could have like an emergency fund of 20K, but I think that's asking for a lot considering how much money I don't make. The business one, I think it is possible. The business one's going to be really hard to have like 30 or 40 thousand dollars, and just cash reserves. I think that's going to be very tough. Um, that's going to be extremely tough, I think, because the business just burns through money very quickly. Uh, it's like employees, gas, insurance, all that stuff. Luckily, we don't pay rent yet. Uh, But when we start paying, like we do pay rent, but it's not too bad. But when we start paying like commercial grade rent, that would be like a lot of money. That's like 10K a month or some shit. Easily going out of the business. And so this need to build up. We need to build up a safety net for the business to sustain its employees and to sustain itself with rental expenses. Uh, and that's not even including like buying new inventory so we can grow next year. That we'll figure out. But yeah, just trying to like really nail things down, improve the business, improve the systems we have in place, and just be better. Be better. This is Devin practicing life, and you got a maybe not a front row seat, but like you got a second or tertiary seat to this. I know all my videos are super uppity, are positive. They're like they're real. Like this is really what I'm experiencing and shit. And sometimes it's not fun. And I guess what prompts me to make a video is when there's a lesson to be learned or something to be contemplated. Because like I think in the future I will be thankful I've recorded these things because during it sucks. During it sucks a lot. And it's painful and it sucks. You're stressed, you're freaking out, you're mad. Like all these things arise. There's a lot. A part of me in the back of my mind is like, one day, uh, one day we'll be through this thing. And usually that day is pretty quick. But it'll be nice to look back on it and see like these are the thoughts I was having back then. And dude, look at how far we've come. Or look at how dumb I was because I just didn't know any better. And I think that's the biggest thing. Most people don't know any better, myself included. Also, I need to get in front of this car. Uh, they are going barely this speed. And that's okay. They're enjoying the ride. It's a beautiful day. Um, and I think the car that just passed me from Alberta has something wrong with a wheel or the undercarriage or something. Something's wrong with that car because it made noises that I've never heard from cars. And I'm not a car guy, but I know when a noise sounds bad. I'm pretty good at that. Okay. Peace out on the streets, on the wisest and whatnots and shit like that. But we will improve, we will be better, we will function at a higher level, and we will do our goddamn best. We will try our best.